Hey, what's going on, folks? I'm AutoMattock, and I would love to teach you some things about Tizoc. But we're not gonna go over the obvious things like do beak and then it's really good, ha ha ha. I'm gonna try to give you some stuff that matters. I actually think beak is pretty bad. Even though it's one of his more useful tools, it comes with a lot of risk. But we're gonna go over some of these problems I see that Tizoc players have. So I've been playing Tizoc since the beta. Quite the struggle to play this character, but you know, I like that. He reminds me a lot of my homie Hugo, you know, from back in the old days, doing the 720s and whatnot. But yeah, I am currently the #1 Tizoc on the leaderboard, somewhere in the top 100 of the total points. SS2, who cares? I like playing this character. This game's pretty cool too. I hated this game for like a week. I thought it was really stupid. Another modern, mashy, press stuff, and it is. But it's really cool because you have defensive options that can beat it. I can deal with that. So yeah, he sucks. A lot of people consider him the worst in the game. I don't disagree. So let's get right into it. Let's go over some Oki situations first. There's actually a comment in a YouTube video, maybe it was one of my matches on somebody else's channel, where they were like wondering, maybe it was a Twitch chat, they were wondering why I don't use EX360. And they were right. Why wasn't I using this more? And part of the reason why is because when I first learn a fighting game, I'm a bit greedy with my resources. I don't want to spend a lot of meter. I want to be able to win basically with vanilla combos and then start to build. So basically, I thought it cost too much meter, and since I was doing a lot of guard cancel SPD, I didn't want to guard cancel and then SPD and then spend like 40%, I think it is. So I didn't want to spend all this meter for like mitigated damage and almost half my rev gauge. But I was doing the heavy punch version, which is 17%. But if I want Oki off of this, I have to do a Lariat anyways. So if I'm gonna if I'm gonna try to get Oki anyways, I might as well do the one that does more damage. It also will line up my recovery for the regeneration of the gauge. Since I'm using my meters sooner with the EX360, I'll recover a little bit of meter. You know, you gotta inch your way. Like this character, the little victories you can get, you gotta take them. So I might get a few more percents of meter back. I do a little more damage, and I still get the Oki. Still get good Oki. The reason why EX360 is so good is because when you dash up, you will have advantage plus 11, and your, can you see that right there, plus 11? Your heavy kick, your close heavy kick will meaty. This is actually a meaty, not like frame trap meaty. Everyone calls everything a meaty now, but this is a real meaty. But it doesn't really matter because you're gonna cancel it anyways, right? You're gonna feint into this, and this is what you're gonna do if you think your opponent's gonna jump. And these, and that, and then that, and then that. And then if you do the light kick DP motion, this sets up a safe jump plus 40. You can jump forward, and that's a safe jump. So you got a good knockdown that leads into another good knockdown. Pretty good. Very good, actually. So the other thing you do is 360 them again. But you gotta delay it. You gotta wait just a little bit. So this actually is helpful. You can do a little bit of block and then do it. So if they uppercut, you 360 them. And if you're an SBG, if you look at their health bar, I'm an SBG. If you 360 them 3 times with EX360, you'll win the match. It kills everybody if you're an SBG, but not the guard cancel one. If you do a guard cancel, you have to do a little bit more than that because the guard cancel SPD doesn't do as much. So if you guard cancel SPD, you're gonna have to hit them like 4 times. So that's pretty much it. If you find a good Oki situation where you can 360 them, your layer 1 choices are close heavy kick or 360, and then you go right back into doing what you do. And that is a very powerful situation. Tizoc actually has really good Oki. There's some more things you can do, like delay. You can delay manually your close heavy kick, and this would be good against some guard cancels. You can also do back heavy punch, or excuse me, back C. This will catch back dashes, and then if you hit their back dash, you can cancel and then go into the EX Lariat on the juggle. Maybe I should just show you that right quick and navigate this impossible training mode menu. It's kind of weird. People don't always backdash in the first frame. A lot of people have like this delayed fuzzy chicken guard, whatever, and they delayed late. So, so your charge chop might have some inconsistent results. But I do think that's the way that it's intended for you to be backdashes, and even some short hops. The jump will actually, I think you recover in time if they do a regular jump, if you do charge back. Layer 1, close D, or EX360, or just block, or do a delay something. Like, these are like the most important elements. Because if there's one thing Tizoc has pretty good, is pretty good options on their wake up. You just gotta get to that point. So one more thing in neutral that should be discussed is jab into EX Artemis Rex. Now this knockdown is a little bit less, but still good. I think it's plus 8 or 6. I think it's plus 8 or 6 when you dash up twice. We got a little plus 8. You can do a little charge chop. And again, the timing can get kind of weird there because you would always backdash on frame 1, so you might get some inconsistent results. And if it hits them airborne, you can sometimes cancel and then go into the EX Lariat. So for example, if they jump back, you should get the scenario. They jump away like this. And then you can just go into this. And if you want to add more damage, you can do the command grab, or you just go for the knockdown. Alright, I would suggest if you hit somebody with beak, don't spend a lot of meter, because it's gonna, the damage is laughable. So if you go around doing this, and then you go on Twitter and complain about his damage, it's kind of your fault, because you don't gotta spend all that meter. It's 50% of your rev gauge like that. So just do a Lariat, and then go for this knockdown. This is a safe jump also, just like the other one. So that's 25% meter, and then you get a safe jump. Good. The main thing with this character is you want to maintain knockdown pressure. Whenever you get it, you don't want to give it up. That's why doing this knockdown is not very good, because if they back roll, you got nothing. You got corner carry, but that don't really mean a whole lot. So I tend to always use this knockdown whenever I can. I would suggest putting SPG at the beginning of your health bar. At first I started in the middle, because I thought maybe I'd be more likely to use my hidden gear, but it turns out hidden gear supers don't have Oki, so they're really only good to win matches or to recover your gauge or to get a massive health lead. That can be okay sometimes. I only use Poseidon Wave if I don't have any meter. If I don't want to put myself in overheat, I'll use Poseidon Wave. But yeah, I think the SPG bar is good in the first position, because I think if you're getting knocked down as Tizoc into the middle of your health and like into the last parts of your health bar, you're in big trouble. You're far less likely to hit them. But if you start with it at the beginning of the round, you're already starting to do big damage. You're already a threat, and you can do some silly things like jump in, just a fan, and then use this move, which is actually extremely high reward, and it's nice to have. And it's also nice because if you have your SPG at the start of your meter, you're always gonna have it as long as you don't get hit. So if you're attacking your opponent, no matter what the position of their SPG is, you'll be able to respond back to rev blows with your own. And you get, obviously much more damage that way. So I think the first position is probably best for Tizoc. And also he doesn't benefit from the discount that you get, because there's not really too many moves you're going into, like, I don't know how you say it, like EX canceling on block. You're not really doing that with Tizoc. So I don't think you really benefit from the discounted cost anyways. So I think the first position is best. And last bit of advice would, again, just don't be discouraged by low damage output. Like if you do something and you see like, wow, that did nothing, the next thing you do should do damage as long as you did a good knockdown, right? Like for example, sometimes it's kind of a bummer when you're at a distance. This menu is lovely. When you're at a distance like this, you don't get a conversion. Isn't that lovely? You can't do crouching jab, can't do standing A, but you can do like this. And if you don't have SPG, the damage is laughable. SPG. If you don't have SPG, this damage looks like, bro, what are you even doing? Why did you even do that, right? You spent a whole super for that? But it's a good knockdown on it. There's a good knockdown on this super. And that could be the thing that you need to start building momentum and snowballing. So for this, you can just do a whiff Lariat dash plus, I think it's actually plus 6. I might have messed it up. Or you can dash 3 times, I think. But if you whiff a Lariat, you build a little bit of meter, so I like that better. So you do Lariat dash plus 5. There you go. And either way, you can still frame trap with close heavy punch. This one, because that's 9 frames, and that'll beat the 4 frames. So that's good too. Another last thing is I would never use level 2 720 unless it's gonna kill. And it's going to, the difference between level 1 and level 2 is basically where their guard bar is at. If it's a little bit beyond that, then level 2 will kill and level 1 won't. And I think that's the only time you want to use it, because this super doesn't have any OP. It stinks. It looks cool. It's nice if you got SPG damage, but that does 380. And if you do the level 1, it's really not that much more. This is like 300 or something. Yeah, you get 80 more damage for an extra bar. So I would only use that to close out rounds. And this level 1, you have a good knockdown, plus 52. And if you spend the level 2, you're spending 2 of your invincible moves. You're spending 2 of your invincible moves away. And then on top of that, your super that you can use for the knockdown off of something like this. So, yep. The knockdown, getting the knockdown, and making it count is what really matters with this character. So yeah. There you go. Hope you learned something from the #1 Tizoc. Me and all 4 of us. Hope you learned something. I hope you're enjoying my gameplay of this game. Think this game's alright. I'm AutoMattock. Peace.